Hello, and welcome to How to Play Warriors of Orlandia. The goal of Warriors of Orlandia is to reduce your opponent's warrior's life to 0, or to have the highest life at the end of 5 rounds. You will accomplish this by taking actions. The actions you can take on a turn are move and/or turn, use an ability, or make an attack. But before we look at those, let's look at the cards we'll be using. Each player will select a warrior, 4 support cards, and an augment card. Looking at the warrior card, we can break it down and look at each part. First, the life of the warrior, represented by the number within the heart. You'll start at this total and work to reduce your opponent's life over the course of the game. Next is speed, represented by a blue wing. This determines how many actions you will get per turn. The purple scroll is wisdom. This is used to break ties. If there is ever a time where your totals equal the same number, then you check wisdom. The person with the higher wisdom determines the outcome of the tie. In the case of tied wisdom, roll 2 dice to determine the winner. The green sunburst is your damage for your warrior. When you hit with a basic attack, you'll deal this much damage to the life of the opposing warrior. Next is the name of the card describing your warrior. Next is your attack grid. This shows your character as the red triangle, with the point being the top of the card. You can attack in any square showing a number and add that bonus or negative to your attack. Next shows the types associated with your warrior. These may come up in certain abilities. These abilities are displayed below. These change how the game is played. There are 3 types of abilities: reveal, passive, and action, which we will explore later. The final piece is the card number, telling you which number card this is in the set. Support cards are the things your warrior brings with them into the fight. The initiative of a card determines how fast it is. At the start of the round, the higher initiative gets to go first. The card name is the same as the warrior's card. The damage is in the green sunburst, just like it is with warriors. This will only appear on weapon cards. The grid also works the same way as with warriors, with your warrior being represented by the red triangle and being able to attack any space with a number in it. Again, this only applies to weapons cards. The support cards also have types that can be referenced by ability text, which are also below this line, just like on a warrior card. Flavored text is added to support cards to give a small glimpse into the world of Orlandia, but has no gameplay impact. You can also see the set number at the bottom of the card. The last card type is augments. These are special tips and tricks picked up by working with people in Orlandia. These are in play at the start of the game and give you an additional ability to use throughout the game. These also have a name, a type line, the abilities below the type line, flavor text, and the collector's number. Now let's go through a demo game. To start the game, you'll select your warrior, support cards, and augment. You'll place your augment in the augment zone, the support cards in the support zones, which are in turn order, and set the warriors aside. For this game, we'll be playing with the adventurer, and the berserker, Berserker will be playing with the augment, flashback, mad alchemist, and the adventurer will be playing with flashback, swashbuckler. After players have set their cards, both players roll 2 dice. Whoever rolls lower will place their adventurer card first, in the starting row, the row closest to your support cards. In this game, the berserker rolled a 4, while the adventurer rolled a 9, so berserker will place first. Then the adventurer will place in their starting row. Round 1. Both players then reveal their first cards. Checking the top left of their support cards, the berserker's initiative was 6, while the adventurer has 5. Berserker goes first. The Berserker has 3 speed, so they will get 3 actions to spend this turn. The Berserker spends their first action to move towards the Adventurer, and the second action as well. They then make an attack with their weapon. They roll using the attack grid from their longsword. Weapons can only attack once per turn. The Berserker looks at the longsword's grid and sees that the bonus is +1. And they also have a +1 attack from their flashback Mad Scientist, since their life is 5 or above. They roll 2 dice and get an 8 on the dice, with the bonuses making the attack equal 10. Adventurer then rolls defense, getting a 9. The Adventurer is hit and takes the 2 damage listed on the longsword, reducing them to 5 health. The Adventurer has 4 speed. They will get 4 actions this turn. Adventurer spends their first action to move in front of the Berserker as they were not in the numbered grid for the Adventurer to attack. The Adventurer spends the next action attacking. The Adventurer rolls a 7 and gains +1 from their grid, getting a total of 8, where the Berserker gets a 3, taking 1 damage from the basic attack. Basic attacks can happen any number of times in a turn, so the Adventurer attacks again. This time the Adventurer rolls 4 and gains 1 from their grid, getting a total of 5. The Berserker also rolls a 5. They tie, so we check their wisdom. The Adventurer has 3 wisdom, while the Berserker has 1 wisdom. The Adventurer wins and hits the Berserker for 1 damage. This being the second hit of the round, flashback Swashbuckler triggers, dealing an additional damage, dropping the Berserker down to 5. The Adventurer attacks a last time for the round, and misses, only getting a total of 6 against the Berserker's 9. The round ends. Round 2 begins. Each player reveals their second support card. Berserker reveals Shadow Cloak with an initiative of 5. Adventurer reveals Water Spray with an initiative of 4. Berserker will go first. However, Water Spray has a reveal ability. This happens as soon as the card is flipped over. Water Spray can deal 1 damage or heal 1. Adventurer chooses to heal themselves. Their life goes up to 6. Berserker still gets to go first. Berserker is standing in a great place to attack the Adventurer, and chooses to capitalize on this and use their action ability. They spend 1 action and activate the ability. Theirs is Rage, which they can use to gain +1 attack and +1 damage on all attacks they make this round. However, they will have a -2 on all defense rolls until the start of their next turn. Berserker attacks the Adventurer with their longsword. They roll 11, +2 from their weapon grid, and 1 from their Rage, making their total 14. The Adventurer rolls a 6 and takes 2 damage from the longsword, plus an additional 1 from the Berserker's Rage. The Berserker then moves to the side, to limit how much they get attacked. The Adventurer starts their turn. They move over 1 to be in front of the Berserker and attack 3 times. The Adventurer attacks and gets double 5s, +1 for a total of 11. The Berserker rolls 5, but due to Rage's downside it drops to 3 and they are hit. Whenever you roll doubles on an attack roll and hit, you inflict a critical hit. Critical hits deal double base damage, the number in the green starburst. So the Adventurer normally would deal 1 damage, but this time deals 2 damage. The next 2 attacks do not go as well. The second attack by the Adventurer is 4 on the dice and 1 from the grid for a total of 6. The Berserker rolls 10, so even with the -2, this is an 8 and the attack misses. The final attack is another possible critical with double 2s, but the total is 5. The Berserker rolls a 9, 11 -2 from Rage, so this attack misses as well. Round 3. Each player reveals their third support card. Berserker reveals Speed Potion with an initiative of 5. Adventurer reveals Longsword with an initiative of 6. Adventurer goes first. Adventurer attacks with their longsword. They get a 6 on their dice and 2 from the longsword's grid. The Berserker rolls a 5, but since it is still not their turn, the Rage gives a -2. This hits for 2 damage. Berserker uses the ability on their Shadow Cloak. It being a discard ability means they have to discard it to use the ability, but it reduces the damage dealt by an attack by 2. This negates all the damage from the longsword. Adventurer attacks again, with a total of 7 against the Berserker's 9. A miss. The next 2 attacks don't go well. 4 against 6. and 6 against 7. It is now the Berserker's turn. Berserker attacks with their longsword, hitting with 7 to the Adventurer's 2 defense. The Adventurer uses their own Shadow Cloak to reduce the damage by 2, negating the damage from this attack. The Berserker then uses their basic attack, rolling 11 to the Adventurer's 10, reducing them to 2 life. They use their final action to move back 1 square. They then use their speed potion, discarding it to move 2 more spaces. Round 4. Each player reveals their 4th support card. Berserker reveals Water Spray with an initiative of 4. Adventurer reveals Speed Potion with an initiative of 5. The Water Spray has a reveal ability, which activates. They choose to deal 1 damage to the Adventurer. Because of this initiative, the Adventurer goes first. They immediately use their Speed Potion to move 2 spaces. Then they use their first action to move 1 more space towards the Berserker. Adventurer attacks with their longsword, rolling a total of 8. Berserker also rolls 8, but thanks to their augment, they get a +1 to their defense because they're below 4 health. This makes the attack miss. The Adventurer makes a basic attack now, this time rolling 11. The Berserker rolls 8 and is hit for 1 damage. The Adventurer tries to end the game with 1 last attack, but misses with 5 versus Berserker's 7. Berserker wants to make sure they hit Adventurer, so they use their Rage ability twice for their first 2 actions, adding +2 to attacks and +2 to damage. Berserker attacks with the longsword. They roll 7, +2 from the grid, and 2 from their 2 rages for a total of 11. Adventurer rolls a 10 defense, and so they take 4 damage, reducing them to 0. The Berserker wins! And that is how to play the Warriors of Orlandia card game. There were a lot of bits of nuances that we weren't able to cover in this demo game. For more information, visit warriorsoforlandia.com or check out the rulebook, linked below. Good luck in your games and have fun!